Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Stella. I'm a travel enthusiast and my channel mainly talks about tourism, and because I have been sailing Uganda and Rwanda for quite some time, I majorly focus on those, but the rest of the world is still my playfield. Absolutely. I believe that I will live to travel the whole entire world. Have to see what's out there. Yeah. And also just recently I started my new business, which is the scented candles, Be Runjulax. And of course the details are right below for how you can place your orders. This particular one is for the mosquitoes, those little friends of ours. Are they even friends? Because they leave us in a bad state. But what are friends for? Well, this is for them. They are scented candles, and you get to place your order and get it delivered within a week. All right, now guys, a few weeks ago I put up a post where I asked people all across my social media platforms, so please follow me if you are not. Yeah, I'm a TV personality as well here in Uganda. I work with Dream TV and BTV early in the morning from 8 to 9 a.m. as we talk about the things that are making rounds within the news. Now, I put up a post where I was asking people to ask me anything. This is the first of its kind, a Q&A. I have never done it, and I just felt like with the new followers that I've gotten over the past period of time, I could probably reintroduce myself through the questions that you ask that you would want to know me from. So that is the whole idea, that you get to know me better by the Q and A. Okay, so I picked up most of the questions were more or less the same, so I picked up just a few of them. I'm going to be answering probably 4 or 5 questions depending on the time that we have. Now, the most common question happens to be about relationships. Guys, what's with you and relationships? Everyone is asking relationships, relationships. I'll be getting into that. But number one, now this happens to be so I was here wondering, do I need to mention the names or not? Instead, I could just put up a post that, hey, on my YouTube channel, all your questions have been answered. I don't know, probably that is how I'll go with it. So, because I didn't know, do people want to know who asked, especially since some of the questions came from WhatsApp as well, which is a more intimate community. Okay, so one was saying that I used to post life lessons on TikTok, but I've stopped. What is the current life lesson or lessons that I can share with you right now? Okay, life lessons. Yes, I used to do, it was towards my birthday when I decided to be able to record a number of life lessons that I have gotten over the years. So I stopped because it was just towards my birthday. But just like this life keeps on going, the lessons we keep on learning. The current life lesson that I would share with the person watching me right now, it would be to probably the person who is not yet married. I know what you're going to say. I've just complained about relationships, and yet here I am talking to the singles. If you are single and you are looking to getting married, one of the life lessons that I have learned just recently is that get a kind partner. You need a kind partner because life can mean to be cruel. Yes, life can mean to be tough. And in all honesty, when you get to close the door, shut the windows, and put off the light, the last thing you need is cruelty when you get home. You need kindness. A kind partner goes a long way. And you know what I have learned? When we talk about kindness, someone might, like, there's a thin line between a kind partner and an abusive one. Like, there's just a thin line. because I was talking to someone just this morning, my makeup artist and we were talking, and she was telling me, it's very easy for someone to be abused by the lack of kindness. Someone gets to be abused, and yet they will have an explanation to everything they're going through. For example, you do not need a partner who is going to tell you how you are not pretty enough, how you are, how he has many options, how many people are throwing themselves at them. And that kind of rudeness, that kind of thing, it's unkind. To talk about your choices and how you are choosing this person and how they should feel like you are doing them a favor by choosing them. Do you get what I mean? That kind of kindness. A kindness where someone would never go below the belt with you, no matter how angry they are, that they would never cross a certain line, because ultimately they still love you. It doesn't matter whether you did a mistake or not. It doesn't matter. You need a kind partner, someone who has their own boundaries and says, you know what, however much I'm hurt, however much I'm pissed off, I do not go this far with the person that I love. Which leads me to another life lesson, and which is emotional intelligence. In all your walk of life, please work on your emotions. Work on them. In just a split second, you can lose a job because you couldn't control yourself. So for me, those are the two things. Get yourself a kind partner, but all round, be emotionally intelligent. Control yourself. Be able to first, watch something. You do not need to utter out words just because you feel like it. Because you know what? Once it's out, it's out, and sorry might not be able to save that relationship or that job. So those are the two life lessons that I would be able to share. Okay, so the next question was, who inspires you? Or other people were asking me, who do I look up to? And in another question there was, who is my mentor? Now that I found that question quite interesting, because for quite some time, I thought I did not have a mentor. Yeah. But the more that I looked around, I realized that my boss, my current boss right now, Mr. Tony Molinde, happens to be my mentor. This is because I look up to this man, like, especially business wise and tourism. He's someone that I have learned a lot from. So when it comes to the tourism line of work, absolutely, Tony Molinde would be my boss, would be my mentor. I don't even think he knows, but he's someone that I truly look up to. Now, on the other front of my life, because I'm a media personality as well, and I have these other dreams of the things that I want to attain. Now, on that front, I have different people that I admire. Yeah, I admire the way they do. I watch more of what they do. I follow them a lot because I wonder how they did it. I want to be able to find my own path, but by following how they've been able to do it. Now, two of them are from Kenya. Aren't they three? Yeah, three of them are from Kenya and one from Uganda. Now, the three from Kenya, we have Caroline Motoko. That one has been an all-time favorite. I started following her when I was probably still at campus. I love Caroline Motoko, and I have seen her transition from radio all the way to influencing and all the way to the major deals that she gets to do. So Caroline Motoko would be one. Just Ivy is another, who is a recent, this one I just came onto her recently after they finished Over 25 channel in Kenya. She went ahead to do her own thing, and just seeing how she has been able to build her own personal brand, man, it blows my mind. And she has very many things she's doing. She's very passionate about money and making money, so that's where she is at. But I follow her a lot. Or what I really admire is her journey to personal branding. just Ivy. That would be from a group setup of over 25. The people that we loved, the four of them, we loved them together. And yet when they stepped out, she went ahead to build her own thing. So just Ivy is another person from Kenya. Now, there is a gentleman, another gentleman. This I found on TikTok. His name is Tony. I'll just leave it at Tony because I've forgotten his second name, but he is TONEE. That's how he spells his name. He's so much into AI, but I find his reasoning, because he's traveled and all that, his mindset is way different from so many people that I interact with. And for that, I started following him to the T. If you follow me on TikTok, you'll know that I'm constantly reposting posts from Tony. Then the last one, and this one, before I get to my last one, or let me first give this one. The other one is from Uganda. Uganda, and that will have to be Manuela Molondo. Manuela Molondo, I like her because of her love for Christ. Even as she goes ahead to do all these things within the space of influencing, of being a brand herself, her love for God, that God is at the center of everything she does, of her family, of her businesses, and every other thing that she gets into. Because of that, that's why I admire her, and that's how I get to follow Manuela Molondo, because of that aspect of her life. That is who I am. I am nothing without my God. Every single gift, every single talent, every single opportunity I have got in my life, I attribute it to God. So because of that, I have to follow the people who believe the same. And that's why I get on to my last person, and that is Vusi. Vusi Tembakwayo. I hope I'm saying that right. Vusi, I found it interesting that he came from the line of business and in and entrepreneurship, talking about all that, and then he resorted into the talking about God, the sense that he gets his whole being from the Bible. He, like the revelation that God has given him of the different scriptures, because he gets to read the Bible and he gets to follow into that kind of path. It really got to me. So Vusi would be the last person. Those other people that inspire me, that motivate me, that mentor me, the people that I look up to, that would be my current list right now. All right. Okay, we get on to the much anticipated question, which is love life. Am I dating? Where am I at with love? Who am I loving on? Oh my goodness. Well, love, I love love. That is no secret to anyone who knows me. I'm these people, I'm all for the movie kind of love, the novel kind of love. I believe in the happily ever after, the Prince Charming, the toll, the flowers, the scented candles, that love, the love that shifts everything within you but also leaves you together. I am all for love. I can talk about love till dawn. I love love, and I know that love is in the cards for me. But when it comes to love, I did a video last year. Was it last year? Yeah. Yeah, I think at the start of last year, 2024, right? Yeah, most probably 2024. I did a video where I talked about a past relationship experience of mine on a local station. I'll try to find a link to that YouTube video and see if I can share it so that someone who hasn't watched it, they can be able to watch it. And since the shooting of that video, I met very, very many people who got to me, and some were like, oh, thank you, Stella, for sharing. Oh my God, this is what I'm going through. People reached out to me on email, but mostly in person. People would look at me, are you Stella? Are you the person who went through this? And for quite some time, it scared me, to be honest, because I felt like I had shared a very vulnerable part. Like I had been vulnerable to strangers, even when I continued to say, and this actually, me sharing that was a promise that I had made to God, because that was a very dark time in my life. So at the time when I shared it, it was because I had promised God that I would. I knew the pitch that I was in those deep, deep places, those deep holes where I was. So I decided, God, when you take me out of this, I will share. So when I shared, I got very different comments, were coming through, or different people shared their opinions, but mostly people who really reached out and said, you know what, I know what you mean, I get what you've been through, I have been through the same, and things like that. So that is what I got to experience most of that, and that put my love life on a place where I knew that more than anything, self-love was very, very important. I remember recently I watched a video of Viola Davis. Could have been Viola Davis. They asked her what is the secret to a long-lasting relationship. It was in the lines of that. And she went back to talk about self-love. And when she did that, I found it funny that, like, interesting that when someone asks you about, a long lasting relationship, you think about the outside as opposed to the within. So I liked that kind of response from her when she talked about it being about you. Now, when we talk about self-love, guys, it's not about being selfish. It's not about you. No, not really. Self-love is from, you have to understand who you are and whose you are. What is your identity? For those of you who believe in God, that is the only way you can. When you know the love of the Father, only can you then love yourself. And once you have self love, and again, non-selfishness, no, you are not at the center of everything. It's not all about you. I actually really do not believe in selfishness, because I believe that we were made to reciprocate. I don't believe in taking, that it should all be all about you. No, I do not believe in that. Even when they say that the cup has to be filled up so that it spills over onto the other, I don't think that your cup gets full by what you take in, that you feed yourself first. I do not believe that. I'm sorry, those are stories for other days, but that's not what I believe in. What I believe in, I understand that we were meant to reciprocate in this world, in this universe. We have to give as well, just the same amount as we take. Look at your body. If you are taking from it, you're working long hours, you're not sleeping enough, you're not eating right, and everything, you're just taking from the energy, you're taking from the youth, you're taking from the timeline. Whatever it is you are taking from your body will one day take a toll on you. That is why we get to shower. That is why we get to eat a balanced diet. That is why, because you have to give back. So it is really the same thing that I take with me when it comes to life, that I was not made to feed myself. It's not about me. It is the purpose for which I was made, for a time like this, for a specific purpose, but not for my own satisfaction. That the more that I could be in service, the more that I could do what God set me to do, only then can I find my satisfaction. And that is the journey of self-love that I'm at. The journey of finding out. When I pray to God, I tell God, who did you make me to be in this world? Who do I need to impact and all that? But if you ask me, do I want to be a mom? Absolutely. A wife? Absolutely. A partner, a helping one at that? Absolutely. So I will leave it at that, because it hasn't yet happened, but it will happen in God's time. Now, the last one, I think I've overspoken, so I'm just going to keep it to the last one. And this one is another thing that I found common. Someone asked, different people were asking, how do you afford travel? Now, in all honesty, how I get to travel is mostly through work. I have only had the trip to Moscow, which was a personal one. let me see, and a few here and there that are more of personal, but in most cases, especially the Rwanda trips that I take have mostly been about work, and then I get to add in a little bit of pleasure here and there, but it's mostly a professional thing. Because of being a tour consultant, I get to go and visit these different lodges, the different activities, so that I'm able to sell better. Yeah, and that's why most of my trips are within Uganda or Rwanda, because these are the destinations that I sell. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that. But in case you want to get into the culture of traveling, saving has to be a part of you. These people that we see, not everyone you see on a trip is wealthy. No, people go ahead to save for these things so that they are able to see what is out there. It should be a rule that everyone gets out of the place they stay at least once a year. I support that message. Well, again, we are the Boma. We are at the Boma Entebbe for this whole month, and we just want to say thank you to the team, thank you to the staff, thank you to the management of the Boma Entebbe for taking great care of us. You can enjoy this space anytime, any day, whether it's for your vacation, staycation, or just a stopover as you head over for your flight. All right, we'll be back next week with a trip that I recently took. I'll be able to tell you about that. So please follow me, share, like, comment, and tell a friend to tell a friend. Mwah.